Hello, welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Silva blames Nigeria's waning crude oil production on insecurity, absence of investment. NLC backs maritime workers' planned strike against IOCs. Fresh oil spill from Ajib's Debi Daba trunk line rocks Bayelsa community. And now, the news in detail. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Temipre Silva, has disclosed that the absence of long-term investment in the oil and gas sector, as well as insecurity, are responsible for Nigeria's current low crude oil production. A statement signed by Horatius Egwa, Senior Advisor Media and Communications to the Minister, quoted Silva as having made the comments while speaking at a ministerial plenary at the ongoing Sarah Week in Houston, Texas. Specifically, Silva stated that this development was responsible for the inability of Nigeria to meet the OPEC quota in recent times. Silva maintained that the speed which the international oil companies and other investors were withdrawing investment in hydrocarbon exploitation had further contributed significantly to Nigeria's underperformance. Although Nigeria's OPEC production quota is pegged at 1.8 million barrels per day in the last few years, the country has struggled between 1.3 and 1.4 million barrels per day. He also cited security challenges as another major factor which contributed to the lack of significant growth of the sector in the country, and added that the drive towards renewable energy by climate enthusiasts had discouraged funding for the sector. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has thrown its weight behind the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria over its planned industrial action against international oil companies (IOC). NLC President Ayuba Waba, in a letter to the Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, recalled that the last stakeholders meeting held on 28 February 2022 with the union, the Nigeria Ports Authority (NPA), and concerned stakeholders, an understanding was reached that the IOCs comply with the extant stevedoring regulations within the next 2 weeks. Waba, however, noted that since the last meeting, the IOCs have refused to sign the agreements reached at the meeting. We write to seek the firm intervention of the minister to prevent the shutdown of all maritime operations in Nigeria any moment from now, as the union is poised to take action at the expiration of the 2 weeks timeline. Any action undertaken by our affiliate union, Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, at the expiration of 2 weeks will receive the full backing, solidarity and support from the Nigeria Labour Congress, he said. Fresh oil spills from the Debi Daba Brass Ajib trunk line operated by the Nigerian Ajib Oil Company (NAOC) have rocked Lasukugbene community in southern Ijaw local government area of Bayelsa State, causing serious devastation to the environment. Lasukugbene, one of the communities settling on the bank of the southern Ijaw axis of River Non, is host to the NOC and Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, hosting main foods, pipeline and many oil wells. Speaking on the development, the paramount ruler of Lasukugbene, Chief Christian Akenika, said the incident was caused by equipment failure due to obsolete facility, explaining that the pipeline was laid in 1974 and it has not been replaced by Ajib since then. Akenika said the community was at the verge of extinction due to the severe oil spillage which occurred on the Debi Daba Brass Ajib trunk line, adding that apart from the swamps and pipeline, crude oil was spreading on the Non River. United Nations top official for Libya has called for the lifting of the production blockade at the two oil fields in the country as oil prices soared by nearly $10 a barrel. The UN Special Advisor on Libya, Stephanie Williams, said blocking oil production from the Sharara and El Fiu fields deprives all Libyans from their major source of revenue. The oil blockade should be lifted, she said on Twitter. The closure have caused Libya's daily production of oil to drop by 330,000 barrels, according to the state-run National Oil Corporation. Before the shutdown, Libya's oil production capacity was about 1.2 million barrels per day. OPEC Secretary General Mohamed Barkindo has emphasized that OPEC is a friendly organization, not a political one, arguing that the main objective of the organization is to help the oil markets maintain stability. He was speaking at the ongoing Cambridge Energy Research Associates Sarah Week, organized by S&P Global Holding in Houston. Barkindo stated that the organization was built on friendship and the need to protect the interests of the natural resources of developing countries, adding that the idea of establishing OPEC evolved from two students in the United States who hailed from the United Arab Emirates and Venezuela, respectively. The Secretary General threw more light on the events that followed after the first Arab Petroleum Congress, which took place in Cairo, Egypt in April 1959. He highlighted that an American reporter, Wanda Jabrowski, encouraged and taxed the delegates that came for the conference on the need to see beyond the conference and use the opportunity to raise issues on how to protect the natural resources in developing countries. This dialogue, initiated by Wanda, birthed the agreement on the need to form an organization that is today called OPEC, Barkindo remarked. Nigeria financial service provider Zenith Bank has announced some new changes in its services due to the new economic reality. Following a review, the commercial bank said it has suspended the use of its Naira cards for international automated teller machine, ATM cash withdrawals, and POS transactions. The bank also approved the cutting down of its web transactions and account holders allowed to perform in the digital market. The bank also cut down the monthly spend limit for international web transactions by 80%, bringing the card limit to $20 from $100. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Silver blames Nigeria's waning crude oil production on insecurity, absence of investments. NLC backs maritime workers' planned strike against IOCs. Fresh oil spill from Ajib's Tebidaba trunk line rocks Bayelsa community. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.